the need for another march on Washington. Is that correct? And what type of a march?
I said that if the Civil Rights Bill, which is being used as political trickery to make Negroes think that there is an element of people in this country who want the Negroes to have their rights, if it runs into the same thing that the March on Washington ran into, which means it produces no results, the frustrations of black people in this country and their disenchantment with all of the political maneuvering and false promises of the politicians has reached the point where you will find a large number of people, probably both white as well as black, but a different element this time, coming back down to show their dissatisfaction. Sir?
Are they sincere, or is it political chicanery?
Looks more like political chicanery.
You as a member, when you were a member of the Black Muslims, talked about Negroes returning to their homeland of Africa. And now Senator Russell has suggested that Negroes be voluntarily spread out across the United States. Do you think this would solve any of the problems?
No. Senator Russell is probably voicing in public that which most whites voice in private. It isn't that Senator Russell is saying this. It would probably be just as indigestible if it was said by anyone else.
You feel that someone like Hubert Humphrey, who has such a small percentage of Negroes in his state, would be working as hard as he is for the Negro cause?
I don't see where Hubert Humphrey is working so hard for the Negro cause. It's not the Negro cause when you try and bring about independence for all people in this country. Any thinking person is working for the so-called American cause. It's not a cause. You're not working for my cause when you try and practice what you preach. You're working for the cause of that which you're preaching is supposed to be an example for people of the rest of this earth to follow.
Then the senator is working for the American cause.
The senator is a politician, and most politicians work for whatever cause is necessary to keep them in office.
But if the results are good for the Negro, why can you complain?
All of the promises that Humphrey and the others have made have yet to materialize. So when you find a senator and he's advocating this, something that's supposed to be good for a minority, and no matter how much he advocates it, that minority never sees that which he's advocating materialize. To me, it's just another political, it's political chicanery.
Thank you, Mr. Lawson.
You're welcome. Tanto.
But I found out much too late that I've always been a tool. Strip me Do you think it's becoming more and more difficult, particularly in a large city, to hold a nonviolent march?
Oh, there's no doubt about the fact that violence is in the air. There's no doubt about the fact that there's more talk of violence these days and in years gone by. There are many reasons for this. When a nation runs wild, violently in the world, it creates a climate for violence within its own confines. And one must never overlook the fact that our nation is obsessed with the guns of war in Vietnam, and it has created a climate of violence, a climate of confusion, a climate of division, and even a climate of hatred. And I think we have to recognize this as we move on in the days ahead. Now, this does not mean that it is not possible to have a nonviolent demonstration. I think we have to see that it's more difficult at this time. Consequently, we have to take greater precautions, and we have to train people in a very disciplined manner over a longer period, maybe, to control elements that can become uncontrollable because of the nature of the situation.
On remaining in the sidewalks. Our plan, and this was the purpose of the people in the yellow armbands, was to keep the sidewalks absolutely clear, and that everyone who would participate in the march itself would stay in the street in orderly ranks.
That's quite true, but you still haven't answered the question there. That is, that do you feel you had control?
Of these elements, very obvious, of these elements who were not in the march, we did not. But I think one of the testimonies to the discipline of the marchers themselves was the fact that there was no difficulty in getting them to turn around and go back. Some people asked me why. I said, we'll tell you when you get to the church, but they turned back. And I think this does indicate good, very excellent control.
Reverend Lawson, while the night's mass rally is called off, what about Saturday's proposed march?
We are planning now our next steps in terms of demonstrations. I've already said there will be continued marches. We will not stop at the point of our nonviolent effort to see this city change directions and become a vastly better place, not only for the sanitation workers, but for everyone.
Does this mean you're not going to disclose any plans right now about future marches?
We do not want to say when the next one will be because the leadership is still talking about when it will be.
Hold tight, Don.
A bunch of hoops.
Do you understand it?
Move, people!
Will you go to the hospital with Mr. Proteus? Will you go with him? I can't. I wish I could. Yeah. All right. And he's got a bad laceration on his hand here and a puncture wound on his hand. Hey, Bud. Come
General Lakin, what's the situation here in Memphis throughout the night and during today?
Well, in our initial entry into the city last night, there was quite a bit of activity as our guardsmen were put into action along with the city police and the highway patrol and the sheriff's department. This activities decreased throughout the night. In the early morning hours, it almost had stopped. During the day, we've had occasional looting, small gatherings of crowd, not anything that we consider serious at all.
Would you say that the Guard's effort has been successful so far?
Without a doubt, the entire operation is successful because there was a lot of planning on the part of not only the Guard but the City of Memphis, the Police Department, Sheriff's Department, all agencies that are interested in maintaining law and order work very close together. We think it's a magnificent operation, truthfully.
How much, General Lakin, to what would you attribute the evident success of the Guard in controlling events in Memphis so far?
Oh, without question. We discovered many mistakes that we were making during this particular weekend that we ran our maneuver, and many have been corrected, and it has attributed a great amount to our success here today.
There were charges last year, of course, that the Guard had gone overboard. You haven't had anything like that this time.
No, we feel that we have a very capable force in the state of Tennessee, and all the way from the governor right on down, we are determined to maintain law and order, and expended a very large part of our effort into training our people to do just this.
General, what would you say has been the psychological effect, perhaps, of the fact that there was a curfew and an instant mobilization? The Guard moved in here in overwhelming numbers immediately. What would you say has been the effect of this massive show of force?
There's no question about it. It stopped a large-scale riot. In my opinion, and many of the others, the situation would have got completely out of hand last night had the Guard not moved in with the speed and the force in which it did.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Make it go. But,
Are you a merchant in Memphis?
no, I'm a cotton-picking lawyer from Memphis.
Back down on his dues checkoff because he made a guarantee during the election that he would never recognize the Union.
Well, I don't understand that. I don't know anything about that. I just say that every public official, everybody, should have a reasonable approach. I think in time of crisis, in time of any large public matter, that the interest of the general public and the interest of the people at large and the business people comes first before any individual principle.
Dr. King has said that he won't come back if it's settled within the intervening time. Do you think there's any chance of it being settled?
As an impossible object meeting an immovable object, if you know what I mean.
Yes, I do.
And I think that everyone should be reasonable. It's very wrong that these irresponsible elements like these young colored people should go out throwing bombs and place the public welfare in such a dangerous condition as to destroy that which Memphis created for the last 150 years for goodwill, peace on earth, and goodwill to men. I think the whole thing is wrong.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This is the mess that's left in Memphis today. The aftermath of a demonstration to support striking garbage men. Dan Hackle, ABC News, Memphis.
Y'all move back out there. Look out.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're asking you to get off the street.
Look out for the truck.
Corners.
Clear the way.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're asking you to get off the street corners. You're subjecting yourself to arrest and personal danger. Ladies and gentlemen, we're asking you to get off the street corners. Get off the streets and not assemble in groups. You're subjecting yourself to arrest and police brutality. Ladies and gentlemen, we're urging.
You don't have enough help?
Leave the area.
Yeah.
Attack 1, attack 6, you need the teargas.
PA system on there for the city. Give us your PA card so you can have it for Dr. Smith and can talk to him and something else. You want a PA system? You ready for the whole?
You still want Messina?
Two of them hanging out. Back to your part. inside.
Get out of here, old man!
There have been some complaints that not enough people have read the report of the President's Riot Commission. These people have.
I cannot guarantee anybody that Memphis or any other city in this country will not have a riot this summer, if for no other reason than that our government has not done anything, and most white people have not done anything about removing the conditions that brought riots into this
Thank you.